PDP NWC passes vote of confidence on Damagum. Kano High Court affirms Ganduje's suspension adjourned till 29 April. Mixed reactions in Gombe as Naira strengthens against the dollar, commodity prices drop. Another foreign scene, UN Libya envoy Abdullahi Bathily steps down amid mediation struggles. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. Now, ahead of the National Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on Thursday, the National Working Committee of the party has passed a vote of confidence on the party's acting national chairman, Umar Iliad Magung, according to the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Debo Ologwagba. The decision of the NWC, which came at the end of its 584th meeting at the party's National Secretariat on Tuesday, April 16, 2024, is in commendation of the efforts and commitment of the acting national chairman to stabilize and reposition the PDP as the main opposition party in Nigeria. The NWC also assured of its commitment in ensuring the continued stability, growth, and success of a great party at all times. Ologwagba said that the Deputy National Chairman, South Taufik Arakbaja, presided over the motion for the vote of confidence on the acting National Chairman, which was moved by the National Vice Chairman, Southeast Ali Odefa, and seconded by the National Treasurer, Yayari Mohammed. The PDP is currently facing one of its toughest battles since the 2023 election, as some stakeholders are calling for leadership change and suspension of Nyesom Wike, Minister of Federal Capital Territory Abuja, over alleged anti-party activities. The inability of the Kano state government to serve criminal charges on the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, his wife, son, and 5 others on Wednesday stole the much-anticipated arraignment of the accused before a Kano High Court. Ganduje, his wife, son, and 6 others are facing an 8-count charge bordering on dollar bribery allegation, diversion, and misappropriation of funds that include alleged $413,000 and 1.38 billion naira bribery, among others. Parties on the suit as respondents are Abdullahi Ganduje, Hafsat Umar, Abubakar Bawuro, Umar Abdullahi Umar, Jibrila Muhammad, Lamash Properties Limited, Safari Textiles Limited, and Lesage General Enterprises. Kano State Government and the criminal suit filed against the 8 respondents said it has assembled 15 witnesses to appear before the court. At the resumed hearing before Justice Usman Malam Naabba, only the 6th respondent, through his counsel, Nareni Jim, was present in court, while the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, and 8th respondent were absent in court. The matter was adjourned till 29 April 2024.
What I know is Kongoso is planning and opposition to defect APC in May. That is the reason why he's making all this unnecessary issues. Remember that Kongoso has been indicted during Shekarau administration, and we have that one. They have been to court. So we are going to prepare to take that issue, to take him to court again. Whatever Ganduje did as a governor, they did it together. So I don't think that the state government is ready.
You cannot ask somebody that is served with charge. You have to serve him with charge.
So, but why would the court refuse your application for substituted service?
It did not refuse our application, but rather say that should release one of the parties for notice. Yes.
Whether or not the defendant should be served by placing it in the newspaper.
And in the matter of Umar Ganduje being suspended as APC chairman, as affirmed by a High Court in Kano today. We spoke to Kamilu Fage, a political commentator, on this development.
You see, what is happening now is an extension of, or is a continuation of the personalization of Kano politics between two camps, the Konkwasiya camp and the Gandujia camp. So they have reduced the Kano politics into such personality conflicts. But it's happening now. I think those who have suspended the former governor and the current national chairman of the APC, that is Dr. Umar Abdullahi Ganduje, the faction that have suspended him have gone to court and they got an injunction which, bar Ganduje from portraying himself as member of APC. But you see, the whole problem is such that it is going to cause a serious crisis in the party. Because if we look at what happened in the past in other parties, like the case of Adam Oshomole, like the case of Iochia Ayu, when some people, in their own constituency or in their own ward, dismiss them from the party, that one cost them their position at national level. So these things, if care is not taken, is going to have a similar ripple effect. In other words, now there is going to be a serious problem as APC is trying to now organize its own convention, and the court has barred, Ganduje from portraying himself as a member of the party. So if this thing has not been resolved, what it means is that Ganduje technically will not be qualified to come out as a candidate for national position in the party. Okay, so it will cost him that much. So we are going to see a lot of legal tussle on the issue. And secondly, most importantly, Kano is known for, very radical and hostile, hot politics. So this is going to inflame the situation here in Kano. If care is not taken, we are going to see political, thuggery and violence in Kano between the two factions. So it is something that is not going to augur well for everybody in the state and in the country as a whole.
Now, away from political development in Kano State, the need to ensure psychosocial support for victims of abductions have been identified as paramount in dealing with trauma that may arise from such incident. Trust TV's Ballo Musa reports that members of Kuriga community are being given such support to enable them deal with psychological trauma following the incident that led to the abduction of their children. The report.
After the Kuriga abduction, the entire community was exposed to trauma which experts say needed to be addressed. The reunion of the school children with their parents after release brought relief to the community. However, psychiatrists say people who experienced such ugly incident may likely have post-traumatic disorder if nothing is done to avoid it.
Or they will not start sleeping early, they will keep thinking about the whole incident. When they finally fall asleep, they would have dreams of the event, which would make the sleep largely unrefreshing. They may wake up multiple times, so they would have problems with sleep, problems with appetite, problems with even living, being happy or being satisfied with life. And this is a complex condition that requires expert management.
Sitting in this hall are parents and other stakeholders at Kuriga community who had experienced trauma after the abduction of their children by bandit. Here they will be equipped with psychosocial training on how to help their community overcome the challenges posed by incidents like abduction.
We see this program is to provide psychosocial support to the participants and go down to Kriga community, facilitate the parents and the learners, and provide resilience to the community as a whole.
Alhamdulillahi, duk da mun shiga cikin damuwa da bakin ciki da tashin hankalin faruwar daga daukan har zuwa.
While we are dealing with the trauma of the death of our brother, we are hopeful that this will ease our pains and help us support his family. Our children must continue with their education. Though some of the children are still battling with trauma, it is, however, gradually reducing. We will use what we have learned here to enlighten our community.
We have started reading about how to be a resilient community that will ensure that what happened does not discourage parents from sending their children to school. The Commissioner, Kaduna State Ministry of Human Services and Social Development, Haji Arabi Salisu, said the knowledge of psychosocial support given to the parents is expected to be passed to the affected children and the larger community.
As you know, after repatriating these children back to their communities, the state government needs a follow-up. This is in terms and conditions and the mandate of the Ministry of Human Services and Social Development, Kaduna State, to make sure that the follow-up has to do with mental and psychosocial support of these parents.
According to the UNICEF and the Kaduna State government, this is a follow-up to the reunion of the children with their parents, adding that it will provide mental and psychosocial support to the parent in the community. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Now, the Adamawa State Governor, Ahmad Fintiri, has reiterated the commitment of his administration to deal with anyone found supporting Sheila Boys or the activities. The governor vowed came 2 days after an 18-year-old suspect stabbed his friend to death during a dispute in Yola. Governor Fintiri, who was represented by a deputy, Kalaptawa Farao, said that the state government is working in collaboration with the security agencies to hold the activities of the Sheila Boys in the state.
In recent times, few days, there have been some heightened activities of Sheila Boys around some of our local government areas, to plead with our youths to use their energies for what is good for their future and also for their parents, and also to call on parents not to hide or not to condone our youths when they get engaged in things that are not honorable. As parents, we should be very careful so that our children grow up to be leaders of tomorrow. So it is on behalf of the governor we are making this call today that we should please ensure that our children are at the right place at the right time and they are not engaging in things that are not allowed by law.
And away from Adamawa State, Katsina State government has sealed the premises of 3 filling stations suspected of selling petroleum products to bandits and their collaborators. The measure, according to the government, followed a series of intelligence reports about the activities of the affected fuel stations. The fuel stations are Mamado Nigeria Limited, IMA Masco and Ajasco, located along Katsina Ring Road on Javier Road. Abdullahi Yamadi tells us more in this report.
The affected filling stations were sealed off during an unscheduled visit by the State Special Task Force on the Control of Essential Commodities, headed by Chief of Staff, Government House, Katsina.
We have been targeting the insurgents. Now we are targeting the collaborators. Those who sell fuel to insurgents are also collaborators, and they will be meted with the same treatment as the insurgents. It is the intention of the government to locate these guys, so conduct an in-depth investigation and punish them accordingly.
He further pointed out that the government is unrelenting in ensuring that all efforts geared towards tackling insecurity are sustained, calling on residents to expose any unsuspecting element to assist in checking criminals and their collaborators. The task force, which drove to the suspected filling stations heavily armed, also arrested all staff on duty. Reacting, the IFMAN officials in Katsina State maintained that their members do not have any connections with the suspected bandits, affirming that they are law-abiding citizens pursuing their legitimate businesses. While we assure everyone that we are investigating this issue with a view to making our findings, we also want to inform the government that we are behind investigations that are devoid of any political motive. We want to assure the government that any issue that has to do with security will not be taken lightly by our association. Therefore, we want the government to make seamless investigation. However, IPMAN will not allow anybody, no matter how strong he is, to tarnish its image in the eyes of the public. The Katsina State IPMAN officials also advised the task force to investigate the issue with caution, as there may be mischief makers who are bent in tarnishing the image of petroleum marketers. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
You're still watching the news update. Coming up shortly after this, we'll take a look at Plateau intending pilgrims back Nakan to collect balance after deadline. Details of this story and more when we return from this short break. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying. If you're just joining, this is the news update on Trust Television. Let's take a look at some of our top stories again. We told you earlier that PDP NWC passes vote of confidence on Damakum. And the Kano High Court affirms Ganduje's suspension, adjourned till 29th of April. And now moving on to more stories, the rebound of the Naira against the dollar and other global currencies is said to be leading to a drop in the prices of some commodities and the domestic market. Ngwami's main market, sugar, noodles and rice are among the commodities in this category. However, some customers say they are not seeing any significant changes in the price of those commodities and accusing wholesalers of being selfish. Hassan Kolin has more in this report.
Nigerians have been battling food inflation with an over 33% inflation rate last month. The rebound of Naira against the dollar and the subsequent decrease in food commodities is a welcome development for many people who have been optimistic about seeing an end to recent hike in prices across the country. Most wholesalers in the market confirm the reduction of some commodities, which they describe as a positive development. Sugar is one of the commodities that have registered a visible drop in price. Recently, the price of 50 kg bag of sugar has dropped from 85,000 naira to 78,000 naira, representing a decrease of 8.2%. This is commendable and good for us and our customers too. A carton of noodles have also dropped from 13,500 naira to 12,600 naira, and this is applicable to any brand of noodles. For commodities like salt, the price has stalled for the past 5 months with traders with large stock of the product devising different strategies to sell them out. We are still buying 50 kg of salt at the rate of 14,500 naira from producers. The price remained unchanged in the last few months. After a significant low patronage, we reduced the price to 13,500 naira. This means we are selling it at a loss of 1,000 naira per bag just to sell it out and continue with our business. Despite confirming the reduction in the price of the said commodities by wholesalers in Gombe market, some of the residents said they are yet to see any change in the price of commodities. We are aware of the recent reduction of sugar and noodles by the producers. However, there is nothing real in the market for us. I used to buy 1 measure of sugar at 2,700 naira last month, and I just bought it at the same price. Some traders are cruel to us. If it were an increase from the company, they will have increased it immediately. We are calling on them to be merciful to us.
Yes, and this morning I bought spaghetti at the rate of 660 naira, of which before I used to buy it 760, but now it's reduced 100 naira price. So I think this is a welcome idea for Nigeria, and we pray that the prices will reduce more so that the common man will be able to afford the food for today.
For a long time now, Nigerians have repeatedly accused traders of artificially inflating the prices of commodities, an accusation the traders denied. According to National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's inflation rate jumped to 33.20% in March 2024, compared to the headline inflation rate for February 2024, which was at 1.70%. Hassan Lawan Poli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Now let's move to Plateau State, where until the intending programs for this year's Hajj and the state are appealing to National Hajj Commission, NACON, to continue accepting payment of 1.9 million naira balance after deadline for the completion of the payment has expired. NACON had in March increased the fare for this year's pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia from 4.9 million naira to 6.8 million naira, leaving many intending pilgrims struggling to pay the money before the expiration of the deadline. Adam Musa completes the story.
Shortly after announcing the increase of 1.9 million, the Commission set a deadline of 4 days for the intending pilgrims to complete their payment. However, many intending pilgrims did not pay the money before the expiry day, citing the short period given by the Commission to remit the balance. They also mentioned their inability to obtain the money before the deadline. Some intending pilgrims in the state who brought their balance to the State Muslim Pilgrim Welfare Board disappointed as NACOM refused collecting the money on the grounds that it had closed down the collection of the money and published a list of those participating in the 2024 Hajj. The affected persons appealed to NACOM to accept their balance and enlist them for the religious exercise. Honestly, we found ourselves in a difficult situation. When NACOM announced the increase, the period of time given to pay the balance was too short because we didn't have the money with us. Now we have struggled to get the money. I had to sell my properties to get the money. With all the effort I have made to get the money, they have refused to collect it. I'm not happy at all. I'm not happy at all. The government should look at the economic hardship we are facing. It is not easy to raise the money. We shouldn't be denied going to the Hajj. We have the balance with us, but they have refused to collect it. Responding on the development, the board's management stated that the issue did not originate from them, clarifying that they had announced a closure before the last day.
Really, I will not say there is another chance for those people. Why? Because the total number that was given to us from the National Hajj Commission was 1,345. But as the time goes on, we later have a communication after the increase of the Hajj fare. They dropped our slot allocation to Plateau State to 1,210. So automatically the pilgrims whom we are paying as safe sponsors and the government sponsors, they are more than the number that they have given to us now. So those who not pay their money or not completed, we have to tell them just to be patient. By God's grace, 2025 is around the corner.
The intending pilgrims, however, call on the government to prevail on NACOM to accept their balance and shortlist them for the exercise.
So, muna kira da gwamna wanda shine uba na farko a jiha.
We call on NACOM and Governor Caleb Mutfwan to intervene in this matter. We suffer before we got the money. The Hajj Commission should please pity us and collect the balance.
To su dai muna son su ba mu gudunmawa wajen taimakawa su ga cewa sun karɓi wannan kuɗin don su faranta mana rai.
And that is not good. But for us that got the money, they should please consider us and collect it. Although the board said those that were unable to pay their balance before the expiry date will miss this year's Hajj, the intending pilgrims are still appealing to the relevant authorities to consider them. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now to matters outside the country. The special representative of the Secretary General for Libya and head of the United Nations Support Mission in Libya, Abdoulaye Bathily, has tendered his resignation to Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Tuesday. Bathily expressed his decision citing significant challenges in his mediation efforts. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more, join us on our live stream on YouTube and all of our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.